Welcome to day 2 of JSON parsing. Sounds like an action movie or something. This is already working pretty well, I think. There is one thing I wanted to take a look at. And that is here, if I'm having my tokens right. You can see they're all array, object, string, whatever. Oh. Let's open GL, open. Jasmine, JSON parse, Jasmine token, type. So you're having undefined, self-explanatory, object, array, string, primitive. Okay, so that is it. I felt like I saw something different on the autocomplete, and I was very confused about what it was. Because I can do Jasmine, well, tokens 0, type equals, well, what is it typically? JSMN. And then you have static, API, H. I guess they are just random things. API, static, extern, okay. So nothing related to the types. What are the JSON primitives? Is it only numbers? And is it only base 10? It's also booleans, null. Floats, integers. So if it's a primitive, then I need to parse 3 different possible types of data: Boolean, integer, floats. But what I was doing yesterday is with this, I can access the array, but then with this, I can go one step further. But I'm not sure exactly how to handle that. So I could just skip it. And let's see what I'm actually doing here. Slash into something doesn't exist. What does exist? Lang. As we can see here, and the first and is the same as the command. Bracket is nothing. Parentheses is nothing. And then we get that the special is 0, index equals 0, i.e. This one is the only one valid. And it's a length 0. So we know that the command length is longer. See, the thing is, I don't really want to just jump over it. I have to verify that something is coming after it. Otherwise, it's a invalid thing, and it has to be a valid. It has to be a valid name. 2 like this is a syntax error. I also don't want someone to put in that. Any other kind of separator. Or like this, with no separator. So there has to be a separator, I think. But how do I enforce that in the best way? Because right now, I'm looking at the command. I read this as a name. It does exist. And so I go there. We can follow it, actually. So we can see that the lengths here are valid, valid, invalid. The actual thing I want is 4. 4 long. And the next thing that comes is an array. So after an array, you have to have a separator or you have to be done. So I guess we could enforce that there. Well, it doesn't have to be, I guess. Let's just type out what I want. So I want name this is valid, name invalid. Let's do invalid in another column. Name 2. And same thing. So the way I feel is maybe I should change how all of this works. And then I should do this instead. I read the entire thing and I check if there's a forward slash. If there is a forward slash, I check that something is after it. Oh, also one thing. I can't do or nothing like that. Funny business. I am thinking maybe it's not a great idea to have this as a separate thing. Let's use this as a starting off point. So I kind of want to do the same thing, there. And the first thing I want to do is I want to check if there's something coming after. So that means I need to know. Well, okay. I32 length to f slash. Mm-hmm. So one thing, the first thing I want to know is if the length to f slash is equal to 0, or let's see how that looks. No, it doesn't go anywhere. So this is our command. The length is 12. The end is there, so the length to f slash is 7. Yep. So it's not 0, and it's not 12. So now the length f slash is 0. That's a syntax error. And inverse. Oh. See, off by 1. Okay. After that, we want to know, is this an array? And this one gives a null pointer if it can be found. Yep. Mm-hmm. So we can't have the end bracket come before the start bracket. And also the length between them. So how long could a bracket reasonably be? Should we say 16? So let's see then. We are having well, now this is going to be a weird number, yeah. Some random number. Mm, What should this be? Because this could, like, you could have the command be a, you know, a letter. But if this is -1 and this is 0, then it also executes. Well, we could say that this is -1 and this can't be 0. Or we could say that if is 0, then we return token, the token. So now we have the bracket content length 2. That's no good. Because it includes itself. So it has to be after, and it has to be smaller than 16, and it has to be larger than 1, larger equal to 1. So let's try. Yep. Hello, Avali. I also want to prevent this. So the way I do that is I need to check. Well, I need to check if the end brackets uh, so basically I need to check if the end brackets minus the command uh, well, also, obviously, if I have to know that the end bracket exists. So if we'll check that first. Like this. This is better logic. So if it's not null pointer, we get that. But we also have to make sure that the here that the bracket no. I believe that's correct. So we need to check that the bracket doesn't have anything after it except for the forward slash. So right now this is 6 because the command is what? Here. This is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how's this 6? This might also not be very safe because if it's UTF-8, if it's not ASCII, I can't really do that. Check. Does What happens with special characters? What happens when you're doing a string length of non-ASCII? Okay, so you're out of luck. You would have to write another library. That's not something I'm gonna do. That's annoying. Okay. This entire logic just fails then. Well, it holds as long as it's ASCII only, but it doesn't. It's not a good solution. It's annoying. But the logic is going to be the same, so I can keep working with this exactly as it is. So why are you 6? Well, you're this distance minus the rest. Or the entire thing is 10 and you're removing this. So that means you have the 6 characters before it. I want the opposite of that. Or rather, when I do this, I want that to be 9, or like 1 less than the command length. So now this will give me a syntax error. No matter what it is, actually. But this will not give me a syntax error. Yeah. This passes, but then, the rest of the code is dumb. Okay. So this passes. This does not. But this should pass. So then I can say, I could do something like if the length to f slash is or wait. if the length to f slash is identical to the end bracket length, well, actually, okay, I have the start bracket length. No, I don't. But we can get that. So I32 start bracket length. Start bracket minus command. We have to not start with this also. So so we can say we can add that to the list of things to check. So that would be this scenario. So I have the start bracket length. If the start bracket length plus that's including or it would be content or command length, name length, identifier. It would be this minus that. So if the identifier length plus the command and like bracket content length plus 2 because of the brackets. If this is true, then we know that the f slash is at the end, but also the command length itself, this thing. This is why it's like very complicated very fast. Start bracket line. Let's see what we have here for this scenario. So this scenario should pass. So we get that the identifier length is 3. No, that's not good. It's 4. Oh, and didn't we already have 4 somewhere? I guess not. We do all that stuff. So then the length to the f slash is 7. Let's recompile it so it's accurate. So this is 4 plus 1 for the 0 plus 2 for those is the length to the f slash. And that is true. It's 5, 6, 7. Then I have something afterwards. So I already know that the length to f slash, the f slash is not the end of the statement. I already know that. Because I did that here. So I guess this is not necessary. I do need the identifier length. Eventually. So yeah, we're checking that for syntax errors. So yeah, we can just try that just to see what happens. It should work fine. Or it should give me a syntax error, which it does. And this should now pass. No? Why exactly? What condition was not true? This is not equal to 0. This is not equal to 10. Oh, wait. This is only valid if this is not set, or if this is not set. So I could do this. So this is a little bit convoluted. This is only true if the end if there's no f slash, shouldn't be the end. F slash this check should only be done if there's no f slash. if there is an f slash, we've already checked that something after it exists. So now this should compile. It should, no? This is true? Okay. So is this true? Parser. This is true, but f slash is something. So this and oh, obviously this. So that works as expected. And this should work as expected. Yep. This should give a syntax error. And that's it. That covers, I think, all of these cases. Because when we are recursively iterating through it, this is one unit, and that's fine. This is 2 units, so we go this one, and then we go this one. This is 1 unit, and we are checking, you know, if it's an array, blah, blah, blah. And this is the same thing, same thing. This is not allowed, this is not allowed. Double slashes. Well, I haven't actually recursed yet. But I imagine that the command would go, you know, next command car pointer, const car pointer, right? Yep. The next command would be the f slash plus 1. And then we recurse. Command, no, well, next command. Tokens count. So then again, we can have, oh, this also is covered. So then I parse this first thing, I skip all the way to here, and then I perform the same thing, and there's no like syntax errors. Now, obviously, hold on. Well, there's no f slash here. So we only do this if there is an f slash. So we can say that if the next command for JSON parse up here if command is equal to null pointer, then we just return immediately what we have. So we return the tokens. That's it. If it's not a null pointer, then, well, this should probably be an error then. Yeah. It's pretty good, I think. So yeah, then here, instead of doing JSON parse immediately, we need to process what we actually have. And that is doing this basically the same as we were doing before. Now we can reuse this logic. So we can get the identifier, and we should also get the array index. And we could say that everything is an array. And then if the array is, if there is no like index specifier, then the index is just 0. And we'll return the thing that we have. That might work. So what is the start bracket +1? The end pointer I guess we can just do it like a quick assert here that the end pointer is equal to the end brackets. And otherwise, JSON parse error. This has no chance of like real failure, right? It just gives you like some weird value. Yeah. So we can do that here. And then we do our check can be in here. And I guess we should also check that the array index is larger than 0 and that it's smaller than, you know, I don't know, I32 max. Why not? So I want to verify that this is true. I think I did yesterday, but I forgot. So we are doing this str2 long. We got a 1. The end pointer is the end bracket end. Oh. What happened here? So the end pointer is, they are the same. They should be, if they are not the same. And if this is smaller than 0. And it can't be larger than I32 max. But, you know, realistically, let's say use 16 max. No, it's going to work. Perfect. So we are doing this thing, finding the well, for the tokens, are we starting from 1? Well, I do have. I could do this. So I say, okay, the array index is like -1. And if it's -1, it's not an array. It has to be. So if it's negative, then we say, well, it has to. We have to look for a string or primitive. Otherwise, we have to look for an array. So it's the same for loop, but we are having a different different contents of the loop. Well, we only really have to look for a string because it's the result that matters. And otherwise, uh, oh, okay. I'm that is completely fine. So again, instead of string, we do array, and otherwise we skip everything. in between. Or do we? We that might not be true. So I think actually, see, this is a string, and it has an array. So we have to check if the next token is an array. So actually, this is completely wrong. This is correct. And then we see, okay, is it... is it what we're looking for? Hmm. So the first string is the command, or the command length. The second string is the JSON source. In the tokens, I start so the first thing we have to check is also that the tokens I end minus tokens I start please. Yeah. So this has to be 0, and the token length has to be equal to the command length, or not the command length, the identifier length. Let's take a look at that. There. Having too many breakpoints right now. Okay. We have a bunch of tokens. We are looking for the tokens type. The first one is a string. So we're going in here. The end is at 9, starts at 5. So the length is 4. And we are checking this string. Oh. Versus the command for the identifier length, let's do that. Okay. Is this 0? Why is it 0? Uh-huh. If it's not that, why would it be 0? That doesn't make any sense. It must be the second one. So we are having identifier length. This is 4. And we have this, identifier length is. At what point was it set to 0? Oh wait, I see why. that's that's funny. Okay, like that. However, if that's not the start, we need to find this another way. And then we go back to what options do we have? We have / or possibly a parentheses. Like requests or something, whatever we will call those. So if we have an f/, we are doing the length up to the f/. So the identifier length is equal to the f/ minus command. Otherwise, it's just a string length. And we can do some asserts. It has to be larger than 0. And it has to be smaller than, say, U16 max. Or even I16 max. Like, let's just copy this. Okay. Now we have identifier lengths for the length for the tokens and the identifier is the same, plus the actual content of them are the same. So this identifier is equal, which means that we should do something about that. Huh? Oh, we went out of scope. All right, I'll be back in one moment. Okay. Yeah, I think if this is true, then what we do next depends on if it's an array or not. So if the this array index if this is valid, then we know that it must be an array. We can do I++ here, actually, I think. There's a risk that I'm going out of bounds with. So here it doesn't allow me to go out of bounds. That's safe. This is also not safe. Now it's safer. So I have to do this, but I don't actually know if this is within the bounds. So this is now bound. That we can do, then we know that the token is existing in memory, no out of bounds access. If we have an array index, which means that it is an array, or that it. Yeah, okay. So we know that it is an array, and tokens I dot type equals if that is true, then we do have something, then we found if the array index smaller than 0, then we found the correct what? Next command. So then we start over from there. And I guess we do a return. So if we found the array, that means something. I have to double check the memory for that. We found the correct primitive. Oops. And if we go after, if we don't find anything, we just return the null pointer and that's it. Like it's not found, right? So I think that's the function. Oh. So this is equal. We check the next one, if it exists. And then we say, okay, is the next token an array? It is. So then we need to find the index, the array indexed of this array. Now you can see tokens I plus 1. This is an object. We need to find the thing that is at the end there, like X number of times. So we are doing we also should array end. We should check this. Not type end. We are storing that because we want to check that the array, the token that we find has to be within the array. So we then we do for I32j equals 0, j smaller than array index j plus plus. We are doing I equals JSON skip tokens plus plus I tokens count. So tokens count. And when we get back, we want to make sure that the array end is larger than the tokens I dot end. And I don't really have like the line, but I can get the start and end. And otherwise, JSON parse. You know, it seems stupid simple in a way, but I think that's all we need. So we're finding the array. We are storing the start and end of the array. Because we have the index, we skip twice. Or once, I guess. We skip the first index to the second index. And now we have tokens again. It's an object. Oh no. Huh? Oh, it goes to the array, not the like index I. Okay. Well, we can see that the end here is much lower than 6,000. So, well, so it doesn't execute. And then we parse the next thing, which, if you remember, is just this lang. So we do the same thing. We have the length, it's 4. There's no like requests or anything like that. The first, where am I in the tokens? 5.9. Wait, why is I equals 1 again? No. The tokens here. That's wrong. Okay. Now you can see that the first token is the object that we found before. So then we are doing this string comparison again. And it just so happens that the first string is that. Now, of course, this is not an array. So we are returning that. And we have this data. It's the data between 16 and 18. And it's this thing. JSON source data starts. And the length is data. And it's AR, which is, if we go to the second object here, exactly correct. Now there is one thing. This is correct, or this is allowed, I'm pretty sure. Unnamed arrays. And that would mean that you can have something like this. I don't think that's something I want to support at the moment. I am happy with supporting what I'm doing. But I'm kind of running out of time. I didn't have so much time today. But I think that this is a good. I think this is pretty good because now what I can do, I should be able to also, like, we can just test quickly. Should be the same as yesterday. I can just get this statistics, for example. ABC. That's correct. I need to get this. So named object value. Hmm. That's the nice thing about it. Yeah, that's a 1. I could type in anything I want in here, I believe. And that will show up like that. And then I can, strol or whatever. Like I can parse that separately. Um, is there an easy way to support this? I could allow. So, like, okay, if I say, if I write that, it's gonna fail my syntax check. Because the post, no, the end bracket, which one is it? Because the identifier length is 0. But if the identifier length is 0, I could deal with that. like that. So now it's not a syntax error anymore. But that means that when we are having, let's go to C here. So we have some other array. And then we go to 0, 0. And then we find 0, 0, and then find C. What's going to happen? Well, whoops. Maybe we have a infinite thing right now. Okay. We are down here. We are checking. This is false. So we check the next one. This is again false. So we check the next one. Whoops. It's again false. Finally, we find the correct one. So we check what is coming here. We're looking for the 0th index. And it is an array. So we found the correct array. We are not skipping anything. The end. So we are parsing that. Now, our command. Ooh. I see what needs to happen. So this, if we have multiple array indexes, we need to perform this multiple times. So we can just say i32 array count equals 0. And then we have some, JSON array max. Like how many nested arrays do we allow? And we can just say 32 because why not? So then the array index. This kind of needs to be a for loop right now. But I don't really have much time. So let's say that the array count is ++, and the array index for array count is that. And we will add a to-do. Loop through multiple arrays if necessary to add indexes to each. So we are rather than an if, we should do a for I32 j equals 0 to array count. So if well, this whole thing should probably just be like if the array so if the next thing is an array, we are doing this, and this has to be a k. Mm, we go all the way to here, but we need to loop multiple times. Only if, so maybe like this. If that's true, else we have a problem. Or it's not necessarily an error, it just means that it wasn't found. It's not necessarily an error, it just means that it wasn't found. Okay, I have like maybe 10 more minutes at most. Warning, comparison. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't actually go multiple times. I want to have the start brackets. This is not, yeah, new start, more start bracket, or next. We do basically the same thing. So the end bracket, next end bracket, the bracket content has to be and it's another syntax error check, and also another strtol. And I don't need all these checks. I need the next end bracket smaller than the start end bracket. The bracket content length, yep. This one I don't care about. End pointer equals next end brackets. Array index. Why would this be less than 0? I forget. That only makes sense anymore. Or it doesn't make any sense anymore. And that index needs to be less than that. Or if it's if it's larger, let's say I, because U is a little bit too much, I think. Okay. Do this as a loop. Let's see. This is speedrun programming. Where am I? Yeah. Okay. The first one is gonna show me this. So I should have a array count of 2, and the index of each should be two zeros. Just happens to be the same. Let's do stop there. No, it doesn't work. I do find the correct identifier, and I'm skipping. Huh? What is the issue? I have 1 minute. So for 2 of them, The next type is an array. We are skipping 0 indexes. The end is within. We never did the next one. So I need to check this when I enter. Okay, for each one, we have to check that it's an array. If it's not, we return. And at the end of that, just like that. I think that's correct. Please work. Yeah, we do that twice. It's an array, blah, blah, blah. And then we enter the next thing. And then we enter some infinite loop. I don't have time anymore. So thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we can get this to work pretty soon.